What was your main takeaway from yoga, meditation, that kind of stuff?
Well, I mean, it's the takeaway is the same thing we've just been talking about, which is know yourself.
Right.
Because if you know yourself, then you know everybody, because everybody is the same. And then in that circumstance where you looked at that photograph and you saw another man, which is really you, had it been another man, why should you have given a flying fuck? Because
Right.
if you look at yourself, if you look truly at you without any smoke and mirrors, any veils, you know for a fact that whatever you might commit sexually to someone of the opposite sex, as time goes by, weeks, months, years, sometimes decades, your mind and body are going to wander. And this is natural because every single person does it. And if you think, people of the audience, that you will find that right man who is for you, is going to be faithful to you, or you have found that right woman and they're going to be faithful to you, you're going to be a disappointed individual. But if you find that right man or that right woman, and they complement you, not through words, but by being together, and if you become friends, then a deeper love grows than anything that sex and hormones can possibly conjure up.
Right. But I can't help thinking that these types of realizations don't belong in your early 20s or even before that. Yeah, I mean, I only started thinking along those lines in I'd say like my late 20s, early 30s, something like that. But I don't know. I mean, I completely. I should just throw away this whole script I have because we diverged so much.
Please do, because neither I nor you, my friend, are script people. So put that in the trash, piss on it, or burn it, or do something and forget about it, and let's continue just to talk, just you and I, with people watching and listening. On my end, I've got my lovely wife, the most important person in the world to me.
Right.
On your side, you have a host of listeners. Fuck all of them and let you and I talk.
Right.
I'm willing to do that.
That's really awesome. Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna return a little bit. No, I'm just gonna ask you. You still call yourself a libertarian?
Well, no. I mean, I am myself.
Right.
I chose the Libertarian Party because they're registered in all 50 states, and to run for president only costs $25 by joining the party and then choosing to run. That's the only reason I chose them.
$25? Are you kidding me?
No. Beauty of the Libertarian Party, okay, among others. However, their take on people and society and government,
right,
pretty much mirrors mine, with a few exceptions.
But what I actually want to talk about is, I'm a member of this. It's an anarcho-capitalist forum. I'm only there for the crypto information, and the longer I spent there, the more I realized that these people keep talking about sheeple, how brainwashed people are, but I've never seen anyone as brainwashed as this group. You know what I mean? It's like you can't. If you diverge one step from their narrative, you're just shut down immediately. So do you have any thoughts on that distinction between the hardcore anarcho-capitalist mindset and a more general libertarian philosophy?
Well,
I mean,
hang on.
All income tax?
I'm ready to answer that.
I'm sorry.
It's a massively deep question. I think there's only one problem that we're talking about here, and this is labels. Labels is how we conveniently ignore the world around us. We see something happening, and we don't know what it is, but we gotta fucking figure it out. And to figure it out, we gotta label it. Oh, that's a harmless person on the street, a homeless person. Well, that looks like a hitman. Oh, that looks like whatever.
He's a Republican. She was,
Right. You
yeah,
label
yeah, all that stuff.
liberals. You're not going to have any fun with them, or so on. The important part is not, are other people awake? No, no. The important question is, are you awake? Because if you are, you don't give a flying fuck. You
Right.
do exactly what you do in any case, whether you're surrounded by people who are complete idiots or a group of Einsteins. Why would you care? You're
Right.
still you, dude. It's you that you're living rather than an image that you think the world wants you to be, and you therefore act that image. Well, fuck me. That's what everybody's doing.
Right.
Stop doing that. And then all you will have for those people is compassion. You want to reach out and fucking enfold them.
How do you deal with in line with what you're talking about? How do you deal with this? So let's say you go someplace new, you're for a conference or whatever you go about doing these days. But if you just run into people and you're like, okay, you're supposed to talk to these people, and the first thing they do is they present themselves not with a label, but even as a label.
Yes, that's right.
How do you
I am
deal
a
with
doctor.
that? Because
Yes, I am a doctor. By saying that, it defines you as
right,
a doctor, and all of the information we get from
right,
books,
right,
and everything else, molded together, now defines that person. Well, there is no such thing as a doctor. There is
right,
merely a human being playing a role of doctor, and that role may be a real role, cutting people open and removing diseased organs and changing them out of God knows. It's still a looking role. It is not a person. Neither does it in any way define the person. It merely defines what you might expect that person to act like, nothing else.
right. But I'm like I like to. I don't know if I actually believe in this, but I like to tell myself that I believe that every person in theory has something interesting to tell me, or that something we can achieve some sort of depth if we go into an interesting conversation. But if people just keep labeling themselves and then maybe okay you give them a second chance, then they start labeling other people, oh yeah, it's like these people over here, this group over here, it just seems like really a battle. And how do you deal with that?
You deal with it by just accepting the world, reality, your existence as it fucking is. And whatever comes at you must be dealt with honestly. Let me give you an example. I lived in Santa Cruz for many years when I ran McAfee. I used to commute over the hill to Silicon Valley.
Right.
Um, Santa Cruz is the mecca for all homeless people in the world. I mean, there's more homeless people on the streets in Santa Cruz than anybody else. Why? It's a very liberal local government. In any case, so I was coming out of the movie dressed up because we were going to a party later. Was walking down the street hand in hand with my wife and another couple with us. And this gentleman, clearly a derelict on the street, jumped up, came straight at me, got inches from my face, and said, "Fuck you!" with violence and energy. Well, I never met that before.
Right.
So I took it in the most positive sense possible and said, "Well, thank you." And then he goes and he changed instantly from some
Right.
angry, why he picked me, I don't know, to, oh, you're very welcome. Literally bowing to me. You're very welcome. So I don't know what that communication was. I mean, I
Right.
just know that I accepted it for what it was and chose, as I try in everything, to take the most positive aspect of